Greetings with Saima and Shirdil. We are here to read The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. And today we have uh, two new members as well. Reading group members is Poppy and this is Pengi. Yes. So Shirdil is feeling a little bit low because he's fasting. So today I will be reading to you. So we discussed how Anne was living in her hiding. She was very scared and she did all the things in her hiding. She made the beds with her dad. She went for, cycling as well, I think, but it was maybe inside the hiding. And then she was also working on her French verbs and she was doing a number of things at home. So everything was happening within their hiding. And the last thing was that they lit up their stove. So the next is Monday, 2nd November 1942. Dear Kitty, Bev stayed with us Friday evening. It was fun, but she didn't sleep very well because she's drunk some wine. For the rest, there's nothing special to report. I had an awful headache yesterday and went to bed early. Margot's being exasperating again. This morning I began sorting out an index card file from the office because it had fallen over and got all mixed up. Before long I was going balmy. I asked Margot and Peter to help, but they were too lazy, so I put it away. I am not crazy enough to do it all by myself. So she was sorting some cards and she needed help from her sister and Peter. But she said they were too lazy. Are you also lazy, Poppy? Yes? No. And Frank. P.S. I forgot to mention the important news that I'm probably going to... that's something different. She says that I'm going to be a grown-up girl soon. And she says, I can hardly wait. It's such a momentous event. Okay, then there's another comment, 22nd January 1944. Now that I am rereading my diary after a year and a half, I'm surprised at my childish innocence. Deep down, I know I could never be the innocent again, however much I'd like to be. I can understand the mood changes and the comments about Margot, mother and father as if I'd written them only yesterday. But I can't imagine writing so openly about other matters. It embarrasses me greatly to read the pages dealing with subjects that are remembered as being nicer than they actually were. My descriptions are so indelicate, but enough of that. So after a year, she's rereading her diary and she's so surprised that she was so innocent and childish and so open and straightforward as we all are usually. I can also understand my homesickness and yearning for Murji. She misses her cat, Murji. Do you miss your Lily? It's your stuffed toy, isn't it? The whole time I've been here, I've longed unconsciously and at times consciously for trust, love, and physical affection. This longing may change in intensity, but it's always there. Everybody needs love. Children need love and adults also need love. The next diary is Thursday, 5th November 1942. Dear Kitty, the British have finally scored a few successes in Africa and Stalingrad hasn't fallen yet. So the men are happy and we had coffee and tea this morning. For the rest, nothing special to report. This week I've been reading a lot and doing little work. So she's reading. Shirdil, are you reading as well? Excellent, excellent. That's surely the road to success. Mother and I are getting along better lately, but we are never close. Father's not very open about his feelings, but he's the same sweetheart he's always been. We lit the the stove a few days ago and the entire room is still filled with smoke. I prefer central heating and I'm probably not the only one. Margot stinker, there's no other word for it. A constant source of irritation, morning, noon, and night. So she says that her sister Margot is a stinker. She's just irritated with her sister. Are you also irritated by your sister?
Much.
She says she's a constant source of irritation, morning, noon, and night. Is that the same with you?
Same.
Oh, that's sad.
And in the midnight.
In
The
in the midnight. Oh, so but you enjoy her and also have fun with her, don't you? Yes, you do.
Does it fun?
Yeah, she has fun too. Saturday, 7th November 1942. Dearest Kitty, now this was the comment about her innocence. It has been added in 1944. Now we are coming back to 1942. And we discussed a diary in 1942, 5th November, and now this is 7th November. Mother's nerves are very much on edge, and that doesn't bode well for me. It is just a coincidence that father and mother never scold Margot and always blame me for everything. So she's asking a question. Is it just a coincidence that father and mother never scold Margot but blame me for everything? Is it? Last night, for example, Margot was reading a book with beautiful illustrations. She got up and put the book aside for later. I wasn't doing anything, so I picked it up and began looking at the pictures. Margot came back and saw her book in my hands, knitted her brow. Knit your brow? You're knitting your brow, you're becoming angry. Okay? And she saw her book in my hands and crossly demanded the book back. She said, "Give me my book back." Does it happen with you and Shifa Baji?
Mostly with
You're reading something and she says, "Give it back to me." This is what happened with her. I wanted to look through it a bit more. She was looking at it by mistake. I wanted to look through it a bit more. Margot got angrier by the minute, and mother butted in. Margot was reading that book. Give it back to her. And I often say, Shifa takes it and I say, Sheryl was reading it. Give it back to him. Yeah, same thing was happening with her. Father came in and without even knowing what was going on, saw that Margot was being wronged and lashed.
Market or
Anne Frank was reading while Margot left. So Margot was very angry and she said, "Give it back to me." And so her mother said, "Give it back to her." She was reading it. So father came in and without even knowing what was going on, saw that Margot was being wronged and lashed out at me. "I'd like to see what you'd do if Margot was looking at one of your books." So he was angry with Anne Frank. So mother was getting angry with Anne Frank and father was getting angry with Anne Frank, and both were siding with Margot,
siding
taking her side, supporting her.
Sometimes you and Baba, me and
Baji's on one side, do you think so? Okay, so I promptly gave in, but put the book down and, according to them, left the room in a huff. I was neither huffy nor cross, but merely sad. I was neither, she did like this, I was neither huffy nor cross, but merely sad. She was very sad. She couldn't even look at her sister's books. Are you enjoying Poppy and Pengy? Poppy?
Yes.
It wasn't right of father to pass judgment without knowing what the issue was. I would have given the book to Margot myself, and a lot sooner if father and mother hadn't intervened and rushed to make Margot's path as if she were suffering some great injustice. She said, I would have looked at those pictures and given that book back to her. So they shouldn't have intervened and interrupted. Of course, mother took Margot's side. They always take each other's sides. I'm so used to it that I've become completely indifferent to mother's rebukes and Margot's moodiness. I love them, but only because they're mother and Margot. I don't give a dash about them as people. As far as I'm concerned, they can go jump in the lake. It's different with father. When I see him being partial to Margot, proving Margot's every action, praising her, hugging her, I feel a gnawing ache inside because I am mad about him. She loves her father so much that she doesn't like her father loving Margot more than her. She's so possessive. It often happens now when Baba is being very nice to Baji and you want Baba to be only yours. Do you feel that way or no? You don't.
I don't understand.
You don't understand? She doesn't like it when her Baba, her father is loving her sister more than her. Just like your Baba is loving Shifa Baji more than you. You would like to be hugged, won't you? Do you feel pain when he's hugging her? It's usually Baji feeling that way. You're not likely to feel because you already get all the love, don't you? You are in Margot's place, I guess. Okay, so she feels gnawing, pain, ache inside her, okay, when Margot is being loved more than her.
With
I-
dad or mom?
With dad. I model myself on father,
Same with
and there's no one in the world